Welcome back. As Russian troops invaded Ukraine, Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, made a plea for volunteers, not just people from Ukraine, but he made the call to people all over the world. In fact, saying all citizens of the world, anyone who wants to join the defense of Ukraine can come and fight side by side with the Ukrainians against the Russian war criminals. Harrison Jozefowicz heeded that call. He quit his job as a police officer. He previously served in Afghanistan, so he has experience, and he was motivated to help Ukraine by the loss of his friend. His name is Ryan. He was killed during the botched Afghanistan withdrawal. And Harrison is joining us live tonight. He is in Western Ukraine. Really appreciate your time and what you're doing. I guess my first question is why?
It's just, as you said, I heard the call and I answered. And then the Afghanistan withdrawal failure, it really had a huge impact on my life. And I just want to minimize that impact on everybody else's life here in Ukraine.
Was it a decision that you struggled with? I mean, what did you consider as you made that decision to leave what you were doing? I mean, it's a big risk, it's a big change, and logistically, it's really challenging to get there and do what you're doing.
Yeah, so at first there was a lot of unknowns because I was pretty much in the first wave that came on over here. So at first I might not have had the full support from my family, but once I saw all the amazing work that I was able to do and help Ukraine with, it quickly became a very supported effort by a lot of people that I know.
Tell us about the work that you're doing, how you're contributing.
So I am one of the co-founders of Task Force Yankee. We have two primary objectives. The first one is to bring able-bodied, able-minded volunteers from the United States safely and securely into Ukraine, and then match them up with various organizations that are asking us for those volunteers. That's step one. Step two is providing humanitarian food and aid on all sorts of levels: clothing, military gear, medical supplies, to really hard-hit civilian areas, as well as medical supplies to the front line. And then the slight third objective is, as we empty our vehicles near the most impacted areas, we then bring refugees back to the western part of Ukraine.
Harrison, we have been seeing and hearing about the atrocities committed against the Ukrainian people, these horrific stories, some of survival, others were not as lucky. What are you hearing and seeing from people who are coming out of these areas with nothing?
It really just breaks your heart to see that there's hundreds of thousands of people that are just fleeing their villages, their towns, and all because there's a madman out there who wants to level entire villages and commit war crimes. And pretty much there's no oversight on the Russians, who have already very low morale and very low supplies. It's very, very heartbreaking.
It is. Harrison, I don't want to let you go without asking about Ryan. We mentioned him in the setup, a friend that you lost. What can you tell me about him?
Yeah. In my personal connection to Ukraine, the only thing I have is losing a good friend of mine, Staff Sergeant Ryan Knaus. Like I said, that impacted me very heavily. And all I'm trying to do is make sure that even if it's one or two or three Ukrainian citizens, I'm just trying to make sure that they don't go through what I went through in that situation.
Well, I know you're helping keep his memory alive. It's difficult to talk about, but we appreciate you sharing your friend with us and all the work that you and others are doing over there. Harrison, thanks again for your time. Be safe, and we'll be in touch. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.